Welcome to Story Quest. Today, I will be reading Little Woman, Chapter 26, Part 2. The invitations were sent, nearly all accepted, and the following Monday was set apart for the grand event. Hannah was out of humor because her week's worth was deranged, and prophesied that if the washing and ironing weren't done regular, nothing would go well anywhere. This hitch in the mainspring of the domestic machinery had a bad effect on the whole concern. But Amy's motto was nil desperandum, and having made up her mind what to do, she proceeded to do it in spite of all obstacles. To begin with, Hannah's cooking didn't turn out well. The chicken was tough, the tongue too salty, and the chocolate wouldn't froth properly. Then the cake and ice cost more than Amy expected. So did the wagon and various other expenses, which seemed trifling at the outset, counted up rather alarmingly afterwards. Beth got a cold and took to her bed. Meg had an unusual number of callers to keep her at home, and Jo was in such a divided state of mind that her breakage, accidents, and mistakes were uncommonly numerous, serious, and trying. If it was not fair on Monday, the young ladies were to come on Tuesday, an arrangement which aggravated Jo and Hannah to the last degree. On Monday morning, the weather was in that undecided state which is more exasperating than a steady pour. It drizzled a little, shone a little bit, blew a little bit, and didn't make up its mind till it was too late for anyone else to make up theirs. Amy was up at dawn, hustling people out of their beds, through their breakfast, that the house might be got in order. The parlor struck her as looking uncommonly shabby, but without stopping to sigh for what she had not, she skillfully made the best of what she had, arranging chairs over the worn places in the carpet, covering stains on the walls with homemade statuary, and give an aristocratic air to the room, as did the lovely vases of flowers Jo scattered about. The lunch looked charming, and as she surveyed it, she sincerely hoped it would taste well, and that the borrowed glass, china, and silver would get safely home again. The carriages were promised. Meg and Mother were all ready to do the honors. Beth was able to help Hannah behind the scenes. Jo had engaged to be as lively and amiable as an absent mind and aching head, and the very decided disapproval of everybody and everything would allow. And as she wearily dressed, Amy cheered herself with anticipation of the happy moment when, lunch safely over, she should drive away with her friends for an afternoon of artistic delights, where the cherry bounce and the broken bridge were her strong points. Then came the hours of suspense, during which she vibrated from parlor to porch, while public opinion varied like a weathercock. A smart shower at 11 had evidently quenched the enthusiasm of the young ladies who were to arrive at 12, for nobody came, and at 2 the exhausted family sat down in a blaze of sunshine to consume the perishable portion of the feast, that nothing might be lost. No doubt about the weather today. They will certainly come, so we must fly around and be ready for them, said Amy. As the sun woke her the next morning, she spoke briskly, but in her secret soul, she wished she had said nothing about Tuesday, for her interest, like her cake, was getting a little stale. I can't get any lobsters, so you will have to do without salad today, said Mr. March, coming half an hour later, with an expression of placid despair. Use the chicken then. Toughness won't matter in a salad, advised his wife. Hannah left it on the kitchen table a minute and the kittens got at it. I'm very sorry, Amy, added Beth, who was still a patroness of cats. Then I must have a lobster, for tongue alone won't do, said Amy decidedly. Shall I rush into town and demand one extra with... You'd come bringing it home under your arm without any paper, just to try me. I'll go myself, answered Amy, whose temper was beginning to fail. Shrouded in a thick veil, and armed with a genteel traveling basket, she departed, feeling that a cool drive would soothe her ruffled spirit and fit of her labors of the day. After some delay, the object of her desire was procured, likewise a bottle of dressing to prevent further loss of time at home, and she drove again, well pleased with her own forethought. As the omnibus contained only one other passenger, a sleepy old lady, Amy pocketed her veil, beguiled the tedium of the way by trying to find out where all her money had gone to. So busy was she with her card full of refractory figures, that she did not observe a newcomer who entered without stopping the vehicle, till a masculine voice said, "Good morning, Miss March," and looking up, she beheld one of Laurie's most elegant college friends. Fervently hoping that he would get out before she did, Amy utterly ignored the basket at her feet, and congratulating herself that she had on her new traveling dress, returned the young man's greeting with her usual suavity and spirit. They got on excellently, for Amy's chief care was soon set at rest by learning that the gentleman would leave first, and she was chatting away in a particularly lofty strain when the old lady got out, and in stumbling to the door, she upset the basket. Oh, the horror! The lobster, in all its vulgar size and brilliancy, was revealed to the high-born eyes of a Tudor. "By Jove, she's forgotten her dinner," cried the unconscious youth, poking the scarlet monster into its place with his cane, and preparing to hand out the basket after the old lady. "Please don't, it's mine," murmured Amy with a face nearly as red as her fish. "Oh, really? I beg pardon. It is an uncommonly fine one, isn't it?" said Tudor, with great presence of mind and an air of sober interest that did credit to his breeding. Amy recovered herself in a breath, set her basket boldly on the seat, and said, laughing, "Don't you wish you were to have some of the salad he's going to make, and to see the charming young ladies who are going to eat it?" Now, that was tact, for two of the ruling foibles of the masculine mind were touched. The lobster was instantly surrounded by a halo of pleasing reminiscence, and curiosity about the charming young ladies diverted his mind from the comical mishap. "I suppose he'll laugh and joke over it with Laurie, but I shan't see them. That's a comfort," thought Amy as Tudor bowed and departed. She did not mention this meeting at home, though she had discovered that, thanks to the upset, her new dress was much damaged by the rivulets of dressings and meandered down the skirt, but went through with the preparations, which now seemed more irksome than before, and at 12 o'clock all was ready again. Feeling that the neighbors were interested in her movements, she wished to efface the memory of yesterday's failure by a grand success today, so she ordered the cherry bounce and drove away in a state to meet her guests to the banquet. "There's the rumble. They're coming. I'll go on to the porch and meet them. It looks hospitable, and I want the poor child to have a good time after all her trouble," said Mrs. March, suiting the action to the word. But after one glance, she retired with an irreducible expression, for looking quite lost in the big carriage sat Amy, a one young lady. "Run, Beth, and help Hannah clear half the things off the table. It will be too absurd to put a luncheon for 12 before a single girl," cried Joe, hurrying away to lower the regions, too excited to stop even for a laugh. In came Amy, quite calm and delightfully cordial to the one guest who had kept her promise. The rest of the family, being of a dramatic turn, played their parts equally well, and Miss Elliot found them a most hilarious set, where it was impossible to control entirely the merriment of which possessed them. The remodeled lunch being happily taken part of, the studio and garden visited, and art discussed with enthusiasm. Amy ordered a buggy, alas for the elegant cherry bounce, and drove her friend quietly about the neighborhood till sunset, when the party went out. As she came walking in, looking very tired but as composed as ever, she observed that every vestige of the unfortunate fete had disappeared, except a suspicion puckered about the corners of Joe's mouth. "You've had a lovely afternoon for your drive, dear," said her mother, as respectfully as the whole 12 had come. "Miss Elliot is a very sweet girl, and seemed to enjoy herself, I thought," observed Beth, with unusual warmth. "Could you spare me some of your cake? I really need some. I have so much company, and I can't make such delicious stuff as yours," said Meg soberly. "Take it all. I'm the only one here who likes sweet things, and will mold before I can dispose of it," answered Amy, thinking with a sigh of the generous store she had laid in for such an end as this. "It is a pity Laurie isn't here to help us," began Joe, as they sat down to ice cream and salad for the second time in 2 days. A warning look from her mother checked any further remarks, and the whole family ate in heroic silence till Mr. March mildly observed, "Salad was one of the favorite dishes of the ancients, and Evelyn." Here, a general explosion of laughter cut short the history of salads, to the great surprise of the learned gentleman. "Bundle everything into the basket and send it to the Hummels. I'm sick of the sight of this, and there's no reason you should all die of souffriette because I've been a fool," cried Amy, wiping her eyes. "I thought I should have died when I saw you two girls rattling about in what you call it, the two little kernels in a very big nutshell, and mother waiting in state to receive the throng," sighed Joe, quite spent with laughter. "I'm very sorry you were disappointed, dear, but we all did our best to satisfy you," said Mrs. March in a tone full of motherly regret. "I am satisfied. I've done what I undertook, and it's not my fault that it failed. I comfort myself with that," said Amy, with a little quiver in her voice. "I thank you all very much for helping me, and I'll thank you still more if you won't allude to it for a month at least." No one did for several months, but for the word fete always pronounced a general smile, and Laurie's birthday gift to Amy was a tiny coral lobster in the shape of a charm for her watch guard. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and comment down below. And if you have not done so already, please subscribe and hit that bell notification for future videos. And if you have a chance, check out my second channel and podcast called Viva Quest. The links are in the description box below. Thank you.